Welcome to Talkin' Maine with the Bowtie Boy. I'm Tom Saviello, and I have my special guest and my special friend. Don't tell anybody. And you are
Kat Johnson,
Kat
Options
and
Liaison.
Stacy Austin.
Oh, hi, Stacy. Stacy and I go back probably close to 20 years, I bet.
I was 10.
10, over 10,
Yeah.
I knew that. So
No, 20 years.
20, it's close because we used to go to the men's breakfast there on Friday mornings and you had the best scramble you had to make. Anyway, that's another story. So you guys have got this wonderful program that's going on. I mean, the High Sheriff Nichols was on here a bit ago and talked a little bit about what your program is. And I'll share this little piece with you. Is back when I was in the legislature, one of the things that I did is I supported very strongly Medicaid expansion. And one of my reasons for doing that, besides Franklin County needed it, was drug rehabilitation. And the sheriffs supported me, and the police chiefs supported me because they knew about the guy or girl that got arrested, had a drug problem. And when they got out, they had no choice. They could either go back to drugs or try to clean up, but there was no place for them to go. And I think you guys are trying to start to bring that kind of thing to help those people with whatever they have as an addiction. So tell us about your program, which is got one, and then how Stacy fits into that. Does that fit with the conversation?
Perfect.
Absolutely. So within the work I do, thank you for what you did within expanding and pushing that in the way that you could politically. What I do is I'm the Options Liaison for Franklin County. I do a lot of outreach within the community through law enforcement and EMS.
So Options program, tell us what the Options program is.
The Options program is set through the Office of Behavioral Health. They do overdose prevention through intensive outreach and naloxone distribution. So just a lot of community education, a lot of connecting through different agencies, nonprofits, the hospital, law enforcement, really being a liaison between all of our agencies and opportunities offered in Franklin County. And then being able to go back to people who are struggling with any type of substance use issues, whether it's recovery, whether it's a grandparent, a mother, a child, and just connecting them to what we have here in Franklin County already. So whether it's, finding that right treatment center that doesn't have a really long, extensive wait list, finding that right counselor that has that right humor or that right approach for that person that's, shared their story so many times, and just helping build them to know, we're going to find the right person, or, you are going to connect with somebody. You just got to keep trying to open that door, or, finding somebody to help you open that door. So it's been really wonderful, and all of the summer programs, the support groups, the knitting and crocheting groups that are coming back around Farmington and Franklin County have been really awesome to push people into utilizing those, or our adult ed classes that are starting this summer at the Mount Blue School. So just really connecting everybody in ways and just reminding them we all have mistakes, we all live life, and we learn, and hey, this is a part of that. Let's get back to going to the fitness center, or checking out what's going on downtown, even just for a walk, and just building that confidence and letting them know that our community truly does support what they're going through.
How did you get interested in doing this kind of work? I had actually, and when I was in undergraduate school, I had a friend who wanted to go into social work. And his goal at that time, now back then we did not have the drug problem we have today, was to work with addicts. How did you get interested in doing this kind of work?
So, really just the essence of helping. I thought I wanted to be a teacher until I started taking classes and I realized it's a lot. I am so appreciative for the teachers that do that full time. It's a lot, many, many aspects. So I kind of looked for something in the helping field. I found rehabilitation services, and it just felt right. I really believe in people making their own choices. I believe in life, in health, and just supporting people no matter what they've come from. Like I said earlier, we've all made mistakes and we all learn from them, and sometimes mistakes happen a little bit more than we might like, and I just want to be there for that person, a cheerleader in their corner, along with Stacy and the wonderful work that she does. Just to let them know we're here for you. We want to uplift you.
Did you go to UMF?
I
So
did.
you're UMF, and where's home?
Home is Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Holy mac, Chicago, Maine.
Chicago, Illinois.
So you came to UMF from Chicago?
Yes.
And you have gotten into this program and stayed?
Yes.
Well, that's great.
I actually worked as an alcohol and drug counselor at a clinic outside of Chicago for 6 months when I graduated in 2019. That was really fun, really exciting to see kind of more of like a culture, urban area within how they use their substances, the way that they get their substances, the chemical compounds of the drugs that they're using. When I was working out there in 2019, a lot of their drug screens were coming back really heavy with fentanyl. And then I came and I worked at a clinic in Waterville, Maine for the last 2 years doing alcohol and drug counseling. I'd see about like 80 to 115 people a day.
My goodness. How'd you keep track of that many people?
Wonderful software systems.
I guess so.
So then watching the epidemic of fentanyl follow up into Maine, and then a few months in, watching all of their drug screens just riddled with fentanyl was just really eye-opening and scary. And so just the last year working in that setting, counseling, supporting, it felt restricted. I'm young, I'm ambitious, I love making mistakes.
She's not young, she's ambitious.
I love making mistakes and learning from them. And when I saw that this job was open for the Franklin County Options Liaison, I've been supporting the options program through and through within the work I was doing individually counseling people. And it felt right. And so I applied, and now I get to kind of break those barriers of just working with one person. I get to support that person, their family, our community, their workplace, and just honestly our state as well. We have so many wonderful resources that are being pushed. The ODME app is...
ODME, remember, acronyms is what we all live in.
Overdose Maine app online, and it's geared for Mainers within keeping them safe if they're still actively using, but also a lot of good education around the Good Samaritan law, resources if you need anything, and I really try to push that for a lot of older individuals, family members that might be affected, just because we need to save lives. We need Mainers.
So if somebody wants to call you, what's the number? We'll run it right here. So what's the number?
207
207
500
500
1752.
1752. It's running right here, so you see that. So
Awesome.
So how do you fit into this?
How do I
idea?
fit in? For the last year, I've been working in Somerset County through Kennebec Behavioral Health and the Maine ARC, Maine Alliance for Recovery Coaching, and Healthy Acadia. And I am a recovery coach coordinator. So I rally up volunteers, and they're all volunteers, that have taken the Recovery Coach Academy and Recovery Coaching Ethics, which is a 30-hour intensive week-long program through Healthy Acadia and Maine Alliance. And then once you've taken this class, you can apply through a site. We have sites in Washington, Hancock, Knox, Waldo, Piscataquis, Somerset, Kennebec, and now Franklin. I have to sit there. So we do much of the eastern and central Maine. And so Franklin County is going to be a new site for the Maine ARC program.
By site, you mean a physical location or a way that you connect?
So this is a way that we're looking for a physical location. my office is out of Skowhegan right now at the Kennebec Behavioral Services there. So I have, all my coaches still have to go through an application process, an interviewing process, an onboarding process, handbook review process, an ethics consideration. So we talk about ethics because this is a confidential program. And it's a program that is held to high integrity. So, and then you have to do a background check. So we just don't send anybody out into the field. There are waivers. There's special considerations, but we work within the people that take the recovery coaching program are usually affected others, allies of people in recovery, or people that are in recovery themselves. So I work with them and supervise them. I take on what we call, they're not clients, they're people, they're individuals, and we sometimes refer to them as recoveries in our program. I get referrals from people like Kat.
Your
So
contact
people-
is so you would have
Kat
some.
has been phenomenal in starting the program in Franklin County. I get referrals. You can send me a referral 2 ways. We have a site through Kennebec Behavioral Health website where you can find my location and there's services.
Okay,
and
so
recovery
right now
coaching.
Andre's if you give that to Andre, he'll run it right there so that people know how to get in contact
So
with
it's
that.
the Kennebec Behavioral Health. It's Kennebec Behavioral website. So it's
And there's a link in there that you
and there's a link in there that you follow. And there's also a site through the Maine ARC, Healthy Acadia, where there's a referral service. Cats that uses those. It's pretty easy. Or you can call me and text me, and we'll go through it, and I can give you that number.
All right.
Okay, 861-1891.
91. It's running right
And
there.
that is my cell phone number, so it's easy to get, and I can walk you through the steps. So we do get referrals from agencies, the options, crisis and counseling, the hospitals, family members, the police departments. I've worked with Somerset County Jail. I'm happy to hopefully be working with the Franklin County Jail now. Through DHHS, we've gotten referrals through. So, I mean, I get lots of referrals, but we also get self-referrals.
Really? So some people finally get fed up
they're
with
like,
what...
I need help. We work at a lot of local events, so hopefully I'll be out more in Franklin County and handing out information and cards because it's a great way. And people ask us, what, and you can ask me, what is a recovery coach? What is it for?
Yeah, what is a recovery coach?
Yeah,
I have a question.
Let me do your job.
Stacy, what is a recovery coach? You want to change places?
Let me ask you. So, I mean, in the recovery coaching, it's like, what helps you when you get lost on a journey? Someone to help guide you your way, map to your journey. So it's someone
I call Alexa.
Or
Siri.
So you can't do that while you're driving. That's illegal.
They call Stacy.
Call Stacy.
Call Stacy. So I mean, it's a great way to someone that's supporting you, someone that's helping you set goals, someone that's empowering you with the tools that you need to make yourself better than you were the day before. People that, someone said you need help, you need to get into recovery. And the first thing is they're scared, they don't know how to do it, they've never done this before, or they've done it before and it hasn't succeeded and they're scared. And so the people that I work with, they'll kind of guide you through that process. They'll help you. We're full of resources, treatment centers, support meetings of any pathway you want. It is your recovery, it is your pathway. If you want to take the bumpy road, that's your choice. But we'll guide you and support you in the choices that you make in that pathway that you want to follow.
And that's where Kat becomes kind of a resource. You're a resource to her, but at the same sense, she become a resource to
Yes.
Stacy because you're able to find those different places.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go.
No. Are you sure? I feel, and I said this before, it would be so selfish to think that either of us or any of us could just be that person to make such a difference in somebody's life in a struggle that they're going through. And so it's nice to be able to almost form a team for that person within different resources. So whereas I might see or connect with somebody in a different atmosphere and say, hey, there are people out here, there are coaches, there are people who have been in your shoes, let's connect with them, giving them that choice, and then being able to trust and know how wonderful these coaches are trained and their approaches and their kindness to be able to move forward with law enforcement to help and find that next person who needs that cheerleader in their corner, needs that support group in their corner. And that's where I can trust and give Stacy those referrals for her coaches and know that her coaches and recoveries are going to do the work and hold it to a standard that that person is going to not have to repeat their story 10 million times, not that that person's going to have roadblock after roadblock of a resource. It's nice to have a program that truthfully wants this person to have the autonomy of their choice and to be a true to cheerleader for that person. It's just very grateful.
So what are any special credentials for a recovery coach?
We do. It's the 30-hour program.
So an old man like me could apply.
You could apply and do this. I mean,
I might not pass, so I probably won't.
No, it's 30 hours. It's. I was lucky enough to take it virtually, the program, because everybody, you need to take it. And then there's, different programming, ethics and professionalism. But we also do coach revision. Everybody goes, what the heck is coach revision? It's coaches. We have opportunities for meetings several times a month for our coaches that are to work with other people. So the other coaches that are somewhere else in the state of Maine, and we talk about what are we having problems with? How are we getting through it? And so we support each other through that process. And it's a wonderful idea because, everybody has struggles. So even the coaches are having struggles. So it's a form of self-care.
So how many coaches do you have now working in Somerset?
So between Somerset and Franklin, I have 8 coaches, which is quite a few, and then myself. And we work probably putting in over 50 hours a week, a month, working with recovery coaches. Some people just come for resources. Some people come for support. Some people come every day for the first month, either calling and checking in and looking for that support. And then as time, they're feeling a little bit steadier on their feet, and it's okay. We've worked with people in the jail.
I know what peoples are.
I know peoples, and people in the jail. And so when they're out, then they have some resources. They have a support system to fall back on.
That's so important because I know when I was doing my work that I described to you before, I looked at Washington and they looked at the recidivity or the return rate back to the jail. If you had this drug counseling, it dropped right off the table. It went from like 50% to like 17%. And that's the opportunity you guys are providing. So you're actually going into the jail to work with some of these people.
It's phenomenal. The recovery coaching program is an evidence-based recovery program that has shown to reduce recidivism, reduced medical care. So they're not in the emergency room. They're not in hospitalization. It's reduced. It brings families back together. It puts people back into the workforce. It builds self-esteem. It reduces relapse rates. So we're not going back to where we were. It's so it's helping. It's supporting people in a community. So you're supporting someone through that whole path, that whole process, until they have wings and they can soar on their own.
Wow. Kat, as the High Sheriff told us that you do ride-arounds.
I do.
So what's your goal in the ride-arounds? To just see the community, to see people that need help?
Yeah, so sometimes I go between all of the law offices in Franklin County. So depending on where I might want to annoy some people or kind of
I don't think most of the deputies would mind having you ride in the car with them, so it's okay.
Free entertainment. Also like hearing from the people that I'm working with, I've heard that there's, a lot going on in a certain area. I might contact that law office and say, hey, mind if I come around for a little bit this week? And when I do that, There is typically, we'll ride around, or an officer will say, hey, I've gotten this call a few times, or I think this person can benefit from meeting you. Do you want to go meet them?
Okay,
So-
so they're gonna, so they have somebody they think might be receptive, because obviously if they're
Yeah.
not receptive, there's no use having the conversation with them.
Yeah, and it's even gotten to the point where the officers know that I'm going to reach out. I'm going to go with them to meet that person, but also holding them to a little bit higher accountability within their recovery or in their struggle, saying, hey, did you ever reach out to Kat? I gave you that leave behind bag, or she said she tried to call you and your phone was off. Is everything okay? Maybe the next time they see them, and they can say, how about I give Kat your number? And so that way it kind of puts the ball in my court to continue to reach out and hold that person to, hey, this is a free service. Do you need any help? And then kind of just letting them know, even when they see law enforcement, it's not going to be sweating bullets or a worry conversation. It's going to be, hey, did your phone die, or do you need a new phone? What's going on, type of thing. And so it's kind of nice also to see that connection and that rapport between law office and our community now, and to be a part of that.
So you both have this great enthusiasm and energy, and I assume that you've had some pretty good successes. Is that keeps your level of action and enthusiasm up? Stacy, keeps you going?
Keeps me going. You know, I've been working with the recovery community in Franklin County for almost 2 decades, getting close to there, and it's really it's a passion. People start talking, and then I go off on my soapbox. So it is. It's
You
a
have one of
passion.
those?
I do. You have one of those too?
Not anymore.
So, I mean, it's nice. I mean, as a person in recovery myself, this is a passion. Because if I didn't have people that supported me in my recovery, where would I be? You know, would I have gone to college? Would I have done these things that I've done? Would I become, you know, a better parent? Would I become a better wife? Would I become a better person that, you know, helps people in society? You know, these are the chances that I've gotten because of my recovery. So.
And you know I'm very proud of you. You know that.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
and-
small town, so everybody knows.
Well, but that to me sometimes brings this unique credibility that you have that I wouldn't have, because you can say, "Listen, I've been where you have been. You can do this," and they look at you and they say, "Wow, I guess I could." I mean, that's the enthusiasm, and you don't need to get like that. No, I'm only
Well, I
kidding.
mean, I'm not perfect, and I'm not ashamed at all to say I was on academic probation 3 times at UMF, just, you know, trying to understand what alcohol was, what freedom
that's
was,
true.
what college classes were, and how expensive they were, even when you missed one day. So, you know, I'm so thankful to be a part of this community, from starting as a college student, going through my struggle, being supported through the staff here, and as well as the community members. I mean, I worked at the fitness center all 4 years, and just the support of the staff there, support of community members, recognizing if you're there or not, recognizing that smile's not there in the morning, and reaching out and truthfully, genuinely caring about just a random college student, and to feel that love and to want to live here and to just embrace the community has been so wonderful. And I'm so thankful to have Stacy with the work that she's going to do and the experiences that you've had living in this community.
This is, I mean, Stacy knows how I feel. This community is special.
It is.
It's a very, I tell people it's still about friends, family, and community. They still care about each other. Even her father.
Oh, Jesus.
Has you met him yet?
No.
Oh.
We don't introduce him
Okay.
to people.
Hey.
He introduces himself.
Yeah, I know. He's a good man. Though. He's a good man. I enjoy Jimmy a lot. We have a good time together all the time. But so again, where do people reach out? So let's start with you. Do you reach out by the hospital, the number that I would call if I wanted to reach out to you?
If you wanted to reach out to me, my phone number directly is 207
207, it's right here.
500
500
1752.
1752. And people can reach out directly to you?
Yep. I mean, I even have grandparents who call and ask certain questions. children who ask certain questions in the call. It doesn't have to be that you want to immediately get into treatment or you immediately want a huge support. It could be, hey, I need a first aid kit. It could be, hey, I have a quick question, and that be it. So just know the support is very wide. The services I can provide, the answers, knowledge is very wide. So it doesn't have to be just for one specific reason of wanting to enter treatment or wanting to make that step into it. It can be even just seeing if somebody picks up on the other side of that phone number.
Just to say something. And your
Yeah.
number, Stace?
My number is 861
861
1891.
1891.
And I mean, I'm listening to, there's so many different words. It's, substance use disorder is a family disease. So if it's a family member too, or an affected other, they can reach out to either one of us and we'll send them the support, or send them in the right direction. We're full of resources and tons of empathy. And, and I was listening to this whole conversation, and the key word to a successful journey in recovery is support.
Yeah. You need somebody to be able to call up when you need them, to have that conversation, to talk you off the cliff if necessary, or just to have a kind voice at the end.
Exactly.
I want to thank both of you for your work. I mean, you're doing what I had always dreamed would happen 15 years ago with, and it's the only way we're going to pull out of it is we've got to help each other do that. Stacy, it's always a pleasure seeing you.
Always, always.
Nice meeting you, Kat.
Nice meeting you,
And
too.
will you guys come back on the show maybe in the fall and kind of update us on what's going on? That would be wonderful.
Definitely.
That would be great.
Absolutely.
Good. See, it wasn't so bad, was it? No. Thanks for tuning in to Talkin' Maine with the Bowtie Boy. This is Tom Saviola. We'll see you next time.